and welcome back to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this series, I am going to cover question number 39 about AWS Solution Architect Professional Exam. These questions are provided by hadoopexam.com and this is taken from practice paper 1. You are working with an e-commerce giant as a senior solution architect for entire e-commerce application. While working with SOC, Security Operations Center, it was finalized that SOC analyst, which is Security Operations Center analyst, has an average of 1 minute to detect a threat, 10 minutes to understand it, and 1 hour to contain it. If you cannot meet this 60 minute rule, then you may have a costly breach that may move laterally and explode exponentially across the cloud estate. Which of the following approach you would take to solve given problem so that this rule can be followed? So to answer that, let's understand one of the concept about AWS service, and then we'll come back here. This would be a little longer explanation, but we need to do it. So this is an explanation for finding the malicious actor here. So being able to detect within so I'll not go in detail basically, correct? So this part we have already covered, basically a 1-10-16 rule. So that is what question is asking. So now real life scenario, when a malicious actor attempt a ransom attack that targets high value data in AWS S3 bucket, it can involve activities in various parts of the cloud services and brief time window, which not and activities can be like this. AWS IAM would be affected. Account enumeration. What is account enumeration? Is a common vulnerability that allows an attacker who has acquired the list of valid username, IDs, email addresses to verify whether user exists in the system or not. So that is account enumeration. User privacy alone is good reason to remediate this issue, but hackers can use this information to craft phishing or spear phishing attacks or help brute force their way into your network, correct? So that is what they can try it out. So that is where account enumeration is one example. Disabling a multi-factor authentication. Once they get access, they can disable multi-factor authentication. Account hijacking they can do. Privilege escalation they can do in the AWS system. So like privilege escalation means like somebody who has only instance launch permission, but it can increase permission to privilege to deleting EC2 instance as well, correct? That kind of thing can happen. On AWS EC2 instance profile privileges escalation, file exchange tool installs, etc. they can do on this basically. AWS S3 bucket and object enumeration, it means they can iterate all your buckets and download the data which are basically may not be open for all. Impair bucket encryption, versioning information, bucket policy manipulation, get object, put object and delete object, API, etc. they can execute it. So this kind of things can happen once they enter into the system. With siloed log file based monitoring, just log file based monitoring or detecting, understanding and containing a ransom attack while still meeting the 1-10-60 rules, like 1 minute because of log files are written in batches. So log files are written in batches and files are typically only created every 5 minutes. So in AWS world, logs files are created every 5 minutes. Once the log file is written, it is still need to be fetched and processed. This means that you lose the ability to dynamically correlate disparate activities. To summarize top level challenges for this, log time between the breach would happen and the detection would increase because 5 minutes it takes just to copy the file at the log location. Inability to correlate disparate activities to reveal the sophisticated attack patterns, so you would not be able to identify easily that attack. Frequent false positive alarm that can obscure true positive, like there could be many false positive attacks are happening, you would be looking, but it may be possible you missed true positive, correct? High operational cost of log file synchronization and reprocessing. So there is a lot of operating works is needed for this all this. Log analysis tool maintenance for fast growing log volumes. So log volumes is increased, then your tool would not be enough to manage this. So how to solve this problem basically, correct? So that is where AWS provide a solution using event bridge, correct? So this is their shared security model, so I'll not go on to this, which we have already covered. Now you can maximize the advantage of event driven architecture here basically by integrating event bridge AWS service as shown in the above. Event bridge allows observing CloudTrail logs in event stream. So whatever the logs are getting created is basic suppose this is what I can say, when some what is some event is happening, and then this event bridge is there in between, you can put it, it can observe your logs basically, correct? Cloud trail logs, this Amazon event bridge agent is installed, event bridge agent is installed, it can send your message to event bridge, this can send your log message to this event bridge, and then if there is any malicious activity or something is found in event bridge, it would go to the SQS, and SQS can alert to the SOC platform. That is what event driven architecture. So any logs in every regions which are getting created in a AWS cloud trail here and here, those goes to event bridge agent published here, and rather than waiting for 5 minutes for creating a log, so every log event would be published to event bridge, and that can be filtered out. So you can host an event bridge with central event buses that consume the stream of cloud logs event from the multitude of the customers and AWS accounts. Within customers account, event bridge rules listen to the local cloud trend stream, each activity as an event, and centralized event bridge hosted by you. Your event driven platform detects the adversarial behavior, basically the rule you would define it, it would find it out and then publish it to the Amazon SQS. You can create an infrastructure, and that SQS can be listened by the SOC platform, and they can simply solve, basically timely they can carry. So events are enriched with your third party threat intelligence data, so that you can basically put your own or solution or third party solutions in the event bridge to filter your messages, provide additional insight of the attack to SOC analysts and incident responders. As data is reached by the centralized event bridge, your SOC team relies on the unique customer IDs and AWS region in each event to provide integrity and isolation. So event bridge allows relatively hassle-free customer onboarding by using cross-account rules transfer. So you can read more about event bridge basically in detail, correct? So that is what it can help. I'm just reading here statement by statement, that is not going to help. You need to understand and what is the use of the event bridge. That is the basic agenda here for the question. How to set up and everything, that can be separately taken care. So that is what, so that would basically help you to get this captured within this rule, correct? Now let me go to the questions to answer this. So here what you will use, you will ask SOC team to use the log generated at regular interval and also given them permission to have access all the logs. For this is not a solution to in this problem basically, correct? As we discussed, this would take longer time. You will save all the logs generated in AWS specific S3 bucket for each service, and SOC team will access it. This is also not a solution. You will use the AWS event bridge to collect logs and generating a log files for SOC team, and then it is not a solution here because AWS event bridge collect the logs is not the only solution. They need to filter out. So you will set up event bridge and start consuming CloudTrail logs and filter using event bridge. So that is the ideal solution for this. So this is a bit confusing here, but you need to answer this option D here. So I submitted, and that is the correct answer. So that's all about this. Basically you need to understand the role of the event bridge for answering this question. So we will learn as on when we move further more about the event bridge service which was provided by Amazon. That is very critical service for that. So that's all about this question. Thanks for watching, and I'm stopping now. I hope you are liking this session, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you. I'm stopping now.